Hello and welcome to ET Auto. We are in conversation with Mr. Rakesh Sharma, Executive Director at Bajaj Auto, and he also wears the hat of the Managing Director of Chetak Technology Limited, which is a dedicated entity for electric vehicles. Mr. Sharma, thanks for talking to us. Bajaj Auto going from strength to strength in the international market as well. 96 is the latest count. How long before you touch the 100 mark?
Well, it does seem 96 quite an impressive figure, but we've not been chasing this number. For us, it is each market has its own merit. There is a certain process where we look at the cost benefit of entering a new market. As you know, entering a new market carries a lot of responsibility, and you have to support the customers for a very long time. You have to be, you can check into a new market, but you can't check out of it, right? So it's as and when a market becomes attractive from our point of view, then we make the move. So I really wouldn't say that we are chasing any particular number in terms of number of countries.
Right. But the way things are progressing and also in the electrification megatrend that it grows globally. So do you see new opportunities in markets where you are already present in, but perhaps there is a little bit of a entry barrier in terms of larger competition or dominance by incumbent players?
Yeah, there is both the types of opportunities which will emerge when there is a discontinuity like electric, which is unfolding. One is that in our existing markets, there could be new segments which would emerge, particularly, commercial or delivery use or collaboration with B2Bs or high-end sports. These could be emergent segments which could offer new opportunities. And at the same time, there can be new markets like, there are markets in ASEAN which are large two-wheeler markets, which we have not been able to penetrate either because we don't have the right product portfolio or, the right brand to compete with in an ICE technology. So when that market starts to shift to electric, then new territory also opens up to us, and then we are on a level playing field with incumbents, and gives us a good opportunity to develop new business in large territories. So both types of opportunities are available.
And can you just share with us a flavor of how are you charting the course of Chetak technology, which is the dedicated entity for EVs? You have started with the Chetak electric scooter, and from here on, what kind of projection are you looking at, and what kind of segments would you like to kind of tap as, let's say, so-called low-hanging fruits?
Specifically for Chetak or for two-wheelers, the most important thing is that electric is here to stay. But the unfolding of electric is, in our view, which is going to happen over a period of time rather than in one big burst. And because it is so highly dependent on, what the government policies are. And we have seen one instance where in the middle of this year, a slight change in FAME has led to a dampening of the growth of the electric two-wheelers. It is still growing. It is here to stay. But I think the transition for it to reach a meaningful size or even 50-50 or which is going to happen over a period of time. And therefore, for quite some time, both the ICE and the electric business will coexist. And if to deal with the pollution issues or import bill issues, there are other emerging options like ethanol, blending, CNG, etc., which are also there. So I would say that we are now standing at an era where we will, even in two-wheelers, we will start to see not just petrol, but we will start to see obviously electric, CNG, and ethanol. This kind of a thing has already happened in three-wheelers, by the way, where you have options of petrol, diesel, LPG, CNG, and now electric. So in three-wheelers, we have already witnessed this kind of a change. So as a company which is in two-wheel and three-wheeled mobility solutions, and who has a global play and likes to be amongst the podium finishes, we are going to be looking at all of these options. At the current size of two-wheelers, which is at about electric two-wheelers, which is about high-speed electric two-wheelers, about 65 to 70,000 on the average per month, is not a large enough segment for it to be segmented further. You know, for example, when the size crosses 100, 150,000 units, then you can start to see different cohorts of customers which are distinct and which need distinct solutions appearing. So we are working on that. We are trying to anticipate the market. And as time goes by, we will expand the Chetak portfolio to cover some of these emerging segments, sub-segments which are distinct. In the near future, of course, we will be putting on, you know, different features and different performances, options within the Chetak umbrella.
So as you build that portfolio of scooters, so it will wear the it will be under the Chetak brand only, yeah?
Yes, largely our effort is that Chetak will be, a large portfolio. We feel that the brand is an umbrella brand, and it can be stretched to cover a lot of the sub-segments which will emerge in the electric. But where if we find that the opportunity, which a new sub-segment is emerging, and it is not in harmony with the Chetak values, we will not shy away from having a new brand or having one of our existing brands extended to cover that new thing. But of course, our primary position is to expand the Chetak as an umbrella brand.
Chetak, undoubtedly a very strong recall, brand with a very strong recall from the past and with a new avatar of electric. But on the motorcycle side, you have the flagship Pulsar. Pulsar wearing an electric motorcycle wearing the Pulsar brand, is that something also being considered?
Well, see, like I said to you, it all depends on the type of sub-segment emerging. Because foremost, we have to be true to the Pulsar values, and we have to be true to the customers who are buying into these, into the Pulsar brand name, who are coming from a certain ethos which Pulsar presents to them and which they get attracted to buy. So the most important thing for us is not the kind of powertrain of choice, but whether we are being true to those values which the customer is rewarding us for. If within that, there is a sub-segment which calls out for an electric solution, then why will we not consider it? Certainly we would consider that.
And as you also earlier rightly pointed out, if the end goal is to reduce emission and also kind of help tackle the global environmental challenge, so it can be a technology-agnostic approach. Yes. It can be electric, it can be ethanol, it can be CNG as well. And which is, again, it's at play in the three-wheeler space. In the two-wheeler space also, are you also looking at, say, maybe on the CNG side, considering that the government is also really stepping up its efforts on CNG availability and distribution, as well as ethanol and eventually flex fuel?
Certainly, we are actively looking at CNG, because you have to consider the fact that we are actually in three-wheel mobility. We are the pioneers of the CNG technology, and today in the three-wheeler passenger, we have an overwhelming 90% market share. And as the CNG network has been expanded by the government very successfully, a great initiative by the government, and CNG pumps have penetrated the heartland of India, we have seen a big migration from CNG diesel, from diesel to CNG in autos, and which is driven purely by operating cost, but it has consequent benefits of impact on particulate matter, etc. So from three-wheel to two-wheel is a logical extension of that, and we have been working on it, and hopefully soon we will be able to provide a solution which is also using CNG. In terms of ethanol, we have been exporting products to countries which have got higher blend of ethanol. So in terms of our engine capability, in terms of components which are designed for things like E27, that is already in play. And as this aspect now becomes real in India, we are ready for going forward and embracing the ethanol as a fuel in India also.
Lastly, your outlook for the year for the two-wheeler industry. I mean, especially if you can kind of slice it into two halves. The bottom half has been under stress for quite some time, and in some segments still continue to be so. Do you see that continuing? And overall, how do you see it the industry panning out for this year?
Yeah, so the industry started, the motorcycle industry started gingerly in the year with still being in negative territory in April and May, and it was in double-digit negative in Q4 last year. And by the time we entered June, July, we started to see it becoming zero. And then the first hints of improvement in consumer confidence we received during the mini festivals of Onam and Ganpati, where we could see double-digit growth. And we were preparing for that double-digit growth. And in the main festival, Diwali and Dussehra, largely north, west and all, we have found the industry has gone into good double-digit drive, which has been extremely good, because remember, the last high of the industry was in the financial year 18-19, and we are still at only 85 or 88% of that high. But obviously, going forward in December, Jan, the industry will slow down from the peaks it achieved during the festive. But see, consumer confidence, there is a palpable change. We can also see it in things like, now the customer is quite happy to take loans of tenures of 36 months or even sometimes 48 months because they can see a certainty of their income flow. So there are many indicators, the penetration of retail finance, etc., which is showing that the consumer confidence has shifted and that the macroeconomic improvements are now reaching the pockets of the two-wheeler customer. So we do think that we should be able to close the industry with a good 8-9% growth as an industry in this in the next 4-5 months. We feel that this is again going to be driven by the top half. The bottom half has recovered during the festive, so it's no longer negative according to us, but it is still only at half the growth rate of the top half. So the growth rate of whatever 7 to 9% is going to be still driven by the top half, even though the bottom half is not in negative territory. We, of course, are hoping to beat this because, also 70%, almost 70% of our sales is now coming from the top half. So we enjoy that tailwind far more than the others.
And so, but at the end of the fiscal, still it may not meet the highs of 18-19. Perhaps we'll wait for another.
I think if this continues and there is no other black swan event, we will probably touch the highs of 18-19 next fiscal. I don't think we are going to beat. For that, it will not happen it will not swing it in the next 3-4 months. We'll probably be still at 90% of the previous high, and hopefully then get back to that 18-19 number in the year 24-25. If there are the elections and there are the various disruptions which are always around.
As long as there are no unpleasant surprises.
Yes.
On that optimistic note, Mr. Sharma, thank you very much for talking to ET Auto. Always a pleasure. There you heard Mr. Rakesh Sharma, Executive Director, Bajaj Auto, sharing his views on the motorcycle market in India, as well as the overall game plan for Bajaj Auto for the emerging and growing electric mobility industry. On that note, thank you for watching this interview. Take care and goodbye.